Deborah Hale is a certified lifeline practitioner. You may not know what that is, but you're going to find out. She also does craniosacral massage. She does hot rocks massage. She does all kinds of massage. But she is a dear friend of mine, and when I met her, I thought she is one person that blesses everyone because she really does want everyone to be healthy. She's a hometown girl, and we were talking about for a while that she didn't have that many people coming to see her or recognize her. And I said, Deborah, don't you know that a prophet is never recognized in their own country? Well, let me tell you, after today, this is going to change. And so I give you my good friend, Deborah Hale.
This is your wake-up call. Doesn't that feel good? I know some of you were embarrassed and you didn't feel comfortable doing it. Try it at home, in the bathroom, in front of the mirror. It's a whole different experience. Quick little sub-note talking about different experiences. I got out of the shower the other day. Some of you have heard this story. And I'm trying to walk my talk. So in your gift bag is your wake-up call workbook. And in there, in the back, on some page, look in your contents page, it's called Daily Habits. There's also energy exercises. So I thought, if I'm going to teach women how to wake up and be the best you that you can be, then I need to be the best me I can be. So I want to look good. I want to feel good. I want to be good. So I got out of the shower and I was looking at my profile, feeling depressed. You know, after you turn 50, gravity takes over. What used to be up here settles back here and hangs down here. And I went, oh my word. And I looked in the mirror and I went, Deborah, hello, Ethel. And I had crossed over into the land of gravity and old age. So it made me sad. It made me feel terrible. So I knew that if I did some dialogue, I would feel happier. So pay attention. You just dialogue. So I looked in the mirror and I went, thank you. All you millions of fat cells that are going to commit suicide today. In my behalf, I thank you. I thank you. And I was laughing so hard. Yes, I do. I entertain myself. Ask my children. But I was laughing so hard because I started out the day in fun. I did something fun. And once I could smile at me, I had a better attitude about me. And the rest of the day went great. I had a wonderful exchange with my family and with people at work and at the grocery store and at the bank because I was happy. So no, you don't need to get out of the shower and look in the mirror and make fun of yourself. But there are so many things that we can do that we don't even think about. That is fun. Have you ever burnt cookies or dropped something as you're trying to take it out of the house and just wanted to scream and cry? Imagine if you just sat down and ate them off the floor and laughed with your little one. And then you go, we are running to Safeway. Yeah, it doesn't have to be that big a deal, but we get so caught up in wearing so many hats and trying to be everything for everybody. She gets a piece, he gets a piece, he gets a piece, she gets a piece. Everybody gets a piece of you, except you. And the bottom line is, no one, not even you, got all of you. How does that make sense? Your head, your brain is like a computer. And if you don't defrag, and if you don't reboot, the life that you're living is driving you around instead of you driving it around. And it's awful. And we feel burdened, and we feel it in our shoulders, we feel it in our gut, we feel it in our heart, we feel it everywhere. I want you to get out your handbook, your workbook, and I want you to turn to page 4. This workbook came about because I had a dear friend in Holbrook that came to me And I was giving her all these sticky notes to take home. I said, do this, do this, do this. And finally she turned around, she said, Deborah, I do not do sticky notes. And she said, just put it in a book and send me home with it. And I went, oh, like I have time to make a book. And she goes, I have time to make the book. You just email me what you want in there. And voila, wake up call. It's a product in process. So we keep updating and updating. But on page 4, I want you to listen. You can follow along. A strong woman works out every day to keep her body in shape. But a woman of strength kneels in prayer to keep her soul in shape. A strong woman isn't afraid of anything, but a woman of strength shows courage in the midst of her fear. A strong woman won't let anyone get the best of her, but a woman of strength gives the best of her to everyone. A strong woman makes mistakes and avoids the same in the future, but a woman of strength realizes life's mistakes can also be God's blessing and capitalizes on them. A strong woman walks sure-footedly, but a woman of strength knows God will catch her when she falls. A strong woman wears the look of confidence on her face, but a woman of faith wears grace. And this is my favorite. A strong woman has faith that she is strong enough for the journey, but a woman of strength has faith that it's in the journey that she will become strong. Isn't that beautiful? I love that. And that's what we're going to take about 50 minutes today and talk about, the journey. Why do we experience all the things that we experience? Because if there's not purpose in it, why get up? Why do anything? Why keep trying? If there isn't purpose, if there isn't passion. Years ago, I was listening to a tape, and I think it was Christensen, I can't remember her first name, Utah, was from Utah. And she said, if you could catch the vision of who you really are, you would rise up and never be the same. Now, in your wake-up call this morning, I want to connect you to who you really are. You are 3 separate entities, bodies, that have one divine purpose. And that is to learn all that you can while you're here. Gain wisdom, gain faith, learn to have joy. Nowhere have I written, man is that he might struggle. Haven't heard that one. Man is that he might persevere. Haven't read that one either. But I have read and heard, man is that he might have joy. And we have forgotten our joy. Now, imagine this. Your body is your car. Some of us are driving around in Ferraris. Some of us are driving around in Datsuns. You remember the Datsun? I do. I had a Ford Pinto. How's that for? But we are how we perceive ourselves. And so if you think you're top of the line, classy, best of the model, then you are, because you are what you think you are. If you've given all of yourself to everybody else, and you're just that dusty old jalopy sitting in the garage waiting to run an errand, then that's what you are. So what makes this car go is your brain. Cars now have computers. So you have a computer to your car. The brain tells the body what it needs to do to be alive, to function. Now, the car can drive around in autopilot. Did you know that? But you know when you're in autopilot, because the same thing keeps showing up. You go, oh, I just experienced that. Oh, there it is again. Oh, there it is again. You're missing a part. How do you get the car out of autopilot or out of auto drive? You have to get in. You have to get behind the wheel and drive. Now, who do you think, what part of you is the driver? The real you. That higher self. Your spirit.
your source, whatever you refer to as that higher knowledge, that higher power in you. It's the real you.
You came without a body, and one day you'll leave this jalopy behind and you'll return to where you came from. You're not going to take your house with you. You're not going to take your jewels with you. You're not going to even have to take your fat with you. The only thing that you're going to take with you is your experiences and the attitude and emotions that you have about them. That's it.
Ladies,
if you think of eternity, what do you think? Maybe we're here 3 minutes? So from an eternal perspective, we're going, yeah, I can do anything for 3 minutes. Then we get down here and we go,
this lasts forever. And it feels like that. We have days, hours, and minutes that last forever.
But until we learn how to get behind the wheel and drive, honey, your life isn't going to change. You're going around in circles, in autopilot. Now, how do we get connected to that higher voice? I was driving to work one day, and I looked in the rearview mirror, and I saw me. And I went, oh, Deborah, I just want to be like you. I want to be you. You seem to have it so together. And I did not expect an answer. And I heard, I'm right here. Wow, I don't know if you've ever had that experience, but there is more than one person running around in here. For some of you, there's many. I'm just happy I found Deborah. So, how do we stay connected to who we really are? You have to feed her. Long ago, I was at a Cub Scout committee chairman, and we had this big Cub Scout rally, and we had a speaker there, and he was all dressed up like an Indian medicine man, and he had his son come like a little Indian chief, the son of a chief. And the son says to the medicine man, how do I know, Father?
Or how do I know if I am the wolf or if I am the bear?
And he says, well, you have you have the good one here and you have the bad one here.
Not exactly saying this right, but it still makes the point.
And he says, well, which one am I?
And he goes, you're the one you feed. Now, wow.
Isn't that true? So if you're constantly feeding this, and once in a while you're feeding this, and you are never remembering to feed this, your spirit, which encompasses all of this,
you're missing out because she or he knows a lot more than you do.
You are limited to what you can see, what you can smell, what you can touch, what you can feel, what you can hear or sense. That's it. On a conscious level,
that's all you're aware of.
But inside of you is great knowledge because your spirit, your higher self, has access to all that is.
And if you can't hear her, you're very limited.
Not only are you limited, you become fearful. Have you ever driven down the road
and the thought came, I should pull over? You thought, why am I pulling over? I'm going to be home in 45 minutes. I'm not pulling over. And the thought comes, pull over. You say, no, I don't want to pull over. I've got a time frame here. Pull over. And you pull over. You make some phone calls. You sit there and relax for a minute. You wonder, what the heck am I doing? And then after a few minutes, you get back on the road. You're driving along and you see this 3 or 4 car pile up. Cars rolled off the road. And you go, oh, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, where'd that information come from? What made you, who did not know what was down the road, stop? What made you stop? That still small voice. Now, you are not going to hear that still small voice if you got your iPad on and your earphones on and you're going down the road like this, which I still like to do that. And I'm not saying don't do that, but there is a time when we need to be still and learn to listen.